Hey bookworms, welcome back to my channel and to another review. Today I'll be talking about The Witches of New York by Amy McKay. And I don't know if you remember, but I think I hauled this book last year on Christmas and I don't know, I just didn't get to review it. I read it a while ago, but I don't know, just didn't get to review it. Anyway, now we're here. So this book takes place in the 19th century in New York, surprisingly, and it focuses around three women who all own a tea shop together, and they're all witches. Each one of them has her own speciality in witchcraft, and of course different people around them have different opinions regarding witchcraft. Some think it's the devil's work, others think it's a wonderful way to keep in touch with our departed loved ones. But as somebody goes around the city kidnapping and killing witches, the girls realize that they're in danger and that their gift isn't as welcome as they thought. This was a really cute book. I know, it's a strange way to describe it, but there you have it. Honestly, it wasn't as amazing and wonderful as I thought it would be, but it was kind of nice. Yeah, cute. Honestly, I thought it would be some sort of a really cool feminist, women empowering book, and it kind of is, but it's just one of those books that you read, you enjoy, but then you finish and kind of move on. Maybe that's why it took me so long to review this book, because I read it, I enjoy it, I read it pretty fast, but then I put it back on the shelf and move on and kind of forgot about it, sorry. But hey, I'm here now. So as always, I'll talk a little bit in more depth about what I liked and didn't like about the book. First of all, I really liked the characters. I liked all the three women. I liked how they represented different aspects of both witchcraft and femininity. I always thought that you can be a strong female character, but still, I don't know, looking for your one true love. There's nothing wrong about that. There were also some really cool side characters, supporting cast, really nice people. I like it when books don't feel the need to just fill the book with assholes to give conflict. There are enough conflicts even when the characters are nice. I also really like the setting. If you know me, if you know my videos, you know that I really love the 19th century, but usually when you read book about the 19th century, you read about England. This time it's in New York, and it was first of all really refreshing to see it takes place in a different time, but secondly also didn't feel forced either with the place and the time. It really made sense that this book takes place in the 19th century. This was the age of science, of discovery. People really also loved the supernatural, and they were really fascinated with the combination between supernatural and science. There's a character, for example, who builds a machine, scientific machine that will help him communicate with ghosts. So basically, I really like all the general things. I like the outline, I like the setting, I like the characters, etc. It's more like the little thing that bothered me, but obviously they were big enough for me to be bothered by them and mention them. So let's get into that. Basically, there was something really strange about the structure and something that felt really uneven. The entire book really felt like it was building an atmosphere to something that never really showed up. The conflict, which is by the way mentioned on the back cover, but that's not the fault of the author. Sometimes the publisher just decide to do that. But anyway, this conflict showed up at the very end of the book and was solved very quickly. I kept thinking she must be planning a sequel, and I googled it, and apparently she did write a sequel. It was published in October 2018, and yeah, this entire book feels like it was building up to the sequel, which is not really a good thing. The book did have a nice ending, but there were some plot points that didn't go anywhere, and we were introduced to a new villain at the very end. There's nothing that's going on with that. So I hope that she at least will address that in the sequel, otherwise that will be really stupid. But yeah, the entire book just felt like it was building up to something that kind of came up in the last moment, and I think was mostly building up toward the sequel. Other than that, I felt like not all parts in the book were created equal. It didn't drag at any point, but I felt like not all parts of the book were equally interesting, and usually I would not bring that up in a review, but it just added to this entire feeling that there is something really uneven about the structure. So those were my main complaints, but before I go, I do want to point out something else. Before I read the book, I googled online to see some reviews about it, and the main criticism that I found were by Christians who claim that their faith was mocked in this book. So obviously I was expecting some anti-Jesus speeches, anti-Christianity, defiling crosses and something like that. There is no such thing in the book. In fact, the witches barely mention Christianity or religion. The bad guy, however, is a radical Christian who is doing really awful things in the name of God, and he's like the only person who mentioned devil. And to that I have to say, get over yourself. I mean, seriously, if you're religious, then that's great, good for you, but you have to be aware of the fact that, especially at that time, religious zealots did do awful things to women who they thought worshipped the devil. Just because the villain, who barely appears in this book, is a radical Christian doesn't mean the entire religion is under attack. Learn to take criticism. Sorry, no sympathy here. My sympathy goes more to the poor people, both in New York and the rest of the world in the 19th century and even today. Those poor people who are tortured and killed because they didn't fit this idea of the Sovereign religion where they live. So that's it for my review. Basically, I enjoyed this book. It's fun. It's very nice. It's kind of like girl power thing, a little bit of 19th century setting. It's always nice. I definitely enjoyed it. It wasn't amazing, but it was fun. And that's it for my review, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to click like and show it. Also to subscribe to my channel, if you dare, and also write down below in the comment section what's your favorite low fantasy book. This means a book that takes place in our world as opposed to, like, I don't know, Lord of the Rings that takes place entirely in the magical world. So it takes place in our world but has some supernatural or magical elements. Just write down your favorite. Again, guys, thank you very much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.